This TikToker faked her entire pregnancy, then tried to pass off a doll as her baby for months before finally getting caught. I mean, I can't even believe this is real when I read the headline, because when I say she faked her entire pregnancy, I mean bump, ultrasound photos, hospital appointments, a gender reveal, a fake birth, and ultimately a fairly convincing silicone doll. So why would someone ever do this? I guess for attention. So today we're talking about the 23-year-old by the name of Kira Cousins from Scotland, who managed to fool her family, friends, and even the man that she claimed was the father into believing that she'd given birth to a little girl by the name of Bonnie Lay. Even the man, like the fact that she did it to the dude as well, she tricked a guy to think that he was the father. What an evil person. Like, imagine the excitement and pressure on this guy, or if they weren't together, the horror. Like, this is just awful. Like, doing it for social media clout, that's bad. But tricking the guy involved alongside of your family, that's psychotic. But obviously, Kira, she went all in on the slide. She wore different size prosthetic bumps, so I guess it looked like her belly was growing. She also shared ultrasound photos and even videos of the baby kicking. She even told people that she was going to doctor's appointments, made up stories about complications, and claimed her baby had heart problems. Her friends threw her a gender reveal party with real balloons, a real cake, and a completely fake pregnancy.
So, this is Kira at her own gender reveal, and me looking like at a gender reveal for a doll.
Dude, I mean, her celebrating in this video is just so dark when you know that she has a fake pregnancy belly on in that. Like, the levels of just being an absolute sociopath is crazy with this one. How is it possible to have the heart to do that to so many loved ones? But unfortunately, just like everything else I cover here, it gets worse, because on October 10th, she announced that she's given birth alone in the middle of the night. She posted a photo of the baby car seat with a newborn inside and captioned it, "Miss Bonnie Lay Joyce Gardner, born 10/10/25." And everyone believed her. Why wouldn't they? She spent 9 months building this lie brick by brick, but the baby, well, this was the baby. Yeah, something looks off. That does not look like a real baby. I mean, it's close, I guess, but that's not a baby. But what's wild is apparently the baby doll wasn't actually the thing that raised the red flags. The whole shtick still lasted for weeks after the baby was born, or baby, I guess, because obviously nothing was born. So I guess if that wasn't odd enough to begin with, the mom started noticing that the baby never cried, never moved, and Kira never let anyone hold it, which a lot of new moms, to be fair, probably don't want their newborn baby to be passed around to all the family relatives right away, because, you know, you don't want your newborn to get sick. But if that goes on for a little bit too long and no one can even see and communicate with the baby, I mean, it's safe to say that would cause a lot of suspicion. I'm actually shocked that's the thing. Wait, so it's not the birth? It's not that she went by herself to give birth all on her own and the father was nowhere present, the mother was nowhere present, no one from her family went to the hospital? Like, there's just so many things that just don't add up here to me. This does not make sense whatsoever. So eventually, her mom took a closer look and found out the truth. Bonnie Lay wasn't real. It was a reborn doll, which is a hyper-realistic silicone doll that costs in the ballpark of like $2,000. So clearly, these things are not cheap. She is very committed to the bit, emotionally and financially now. And I would imagine these dolls are probably helpful for people who have experienced loss, but Kira used one to pull a huge lie off, or at least try to pull off a lie to her friends and her family. And I hate to say it, but it looks like Kira even got one of the cheap ones. But Kira ended up deleting her social media and reportedly went to stay with her dad. But at that point, the story had already gone viral, because before she deactivated her account for a bit, she made this apology post. And I don't even know how to feel about this, because she goes on to apologize to the fake baby dad, her family, and says plainly, "I wasn't pregnant. There was just no baby. I made it up and I kept it going way too far. I faked scans, messages, the whole birth story, and acted like the doll was a real baby." To make things even worse though, before everything blew up, she'd been telling everyone that the baby actually passed away to keep the lie going. Yeah, she made up an entire tragedy to cover up a fake pregnancy. I'm just so baffled by this story. Like, I don't understand how Kira even pulled off pretending to go through labor. Like, this doesn't make sense. Like, this isn't just like clout chasing. The fact that she even tricked her family and her fake baby daddy That's what's really insane to me. Like, there's no way she thought this through, because sure, maybe she could get away with a week or two, but what happens when the kid should be like babbling and crawling and eventually walking? You can't fake that, yet at least. But apparently, after she announced the birth, Kira reportedly told friends and family that her baby's father, Jamie, wasn't around or involved, and went on to say things like he hadn't shown up to the appointments and didn't support her after the baby was born. Excuse me, ma'am. How can a man go to a doctor's appointment to a child that doesn't even exist? What was she going to do if he showed up even? Like, it doesn't make sense whatsoever. Either way though, Kira's family has come forward saying they truly believe she was pregnant with posts like this. So at least it seems to me that she genuinely tricked everyone involved. And this is also from a friend of Kira who essentially says that Kira got a lot of presents at her baby shower, and she was constantly texting throughout the pregnancy, complaining about being pregnant and feeling sick. And then after the baby was born, she texted her friends on Snapchat with a picture of the doll, and then she sent Snapchat videos of her walking out of the hospital with the baby in the car seat. So she drove to the hospital with a fake baby in a car seat just to take Snapchat videos walking around. What a fascinating use of free will. How is this possible? Like, are we really that attention sick? Again, I keep saying it, but I am just in disbelief from this entire story. It doesn't make sense. But the friend apparently took Kira to Kira's job so all of her coworkers could meet the baby. So not only is she tricking her social media followers, her family and her friends, but also her coworkers. And I guess none of them realized that it was a fake baby. So that's also interesting. But Kira was claiming that her job gave her maternity leave, but typically you need proof of pregnancy, like actually, getting doctor's appointments to get that approved. According to people who know her, Kira may have not actually filed any official maternity paperwork at all. Instead, she reportedly used her regular annual leave to make it look like she was on maternity leave. Again, this lady is very dedicated to her craft here. Her craft of just completely manipulating her loved ones. But by doing this, she wouldn't need the MAT B1 form, which is normally required for the UK to prove pregnancy and qualify for maternity pay. So by skipping this formal process, she may have avoided setting off any red flags with her employer. No doctor's letter, no HR verification, just a block of time off of work that lined up perfectly with her fake due date. It's honestly kind of wild, and it also kind of explains how she got away with this for so long. Because this wasn't some like elaborate forged document scheme. It's just basic time off policies that she used, I guess, like all back to back to back. So she must have really been saving up the time off for a while then. But after some time goes by, the friend says that Kira deleted all pictures online and their chats of Bonnie Lee. Well, then eventually Kira messaged Jamie, the dad, and said, Bonnie Lee passed away. Is that how she's trying to get out of this? Like, what is she gonna do now? Fake a funeral as well while she's at it, I guess? Like, how much would that cost? So then essentially all of the people that she manipulated at the baby shower would then be grieving a non-existing baby. Like, what? How is this real? This is so fucked up. But apparently this was her plan from the start, because she was setting up this exit strategy of saying that the baby was born with a heart defect. So that was what she was going to use as the cause of the passing of the child, and then to, farm even more social media sympathy. And just going through the news article on this, like even the comments are just like depressing as well, because you have some people claiming they've had similar experience with loved ones. Like one person also said, my sister faked an entire pregnancy. She also said that she was having a girl, and she tricked her boyfriend and then announced on the day of her son's birth that she had faked the entire thing. Like, that is just an outrageous display of main character syndrome, which obviously the main woman that we're talking about here today is also the same thing. But still, like, this is just, it's so crazy. This is so manipulative. I'm just going in loops at this point. What is this? Like, the shock I have from this story is just like hurting my brain. And there's more. Another woman said, some girl did this to my cousin. I'll never forget that she gifted my grandma framed maternity photos of herself. I mean, that is crazy. And seeing all of this, what's wild here is this isn't just like a one-off case. There's a pattern of people faking pregnancies online for months, sometimes years, and people only find out when the baby doesn't cry or move or exist to begin with. So, yeah, that's awful. But since Kira's online departure, she's already came back to Instagram posting emotional messages about what she says really happened behind the scenes. And in these posts, she claims she actually went through a miscarriage earlier in the year and that the entire fake pregnancy was, in her words, a trauma response. She said that the baby broke her and that pretending to still be pregnant felt like the only way she could cope with what happened. She also posted pictures of what could be a baby bump to, I guess, prove that she was in fact pregnant at one point. But essentially, Kira is framing her behavior as coming from a place of grief, saying that she wanted to feel like a mom, even if it wasn't real. But for a lot of people who were lied to, those posts don't erase the damage. This wasn't just like an online stunt. She pulled this on her family, friends, and the man that she claimed was the father, making them emotionally invest in a child who never existed. Like, that's what is so disgusting about this entire case. Because Kira's friends, they threw her a party. They bought her expensive gifts, including a 1,000-pound stroller. In general, they just celebrated a baby that wasn't real, and then suddenly they had to process a fake loss on top of that. That kind of betrayal doesn't just go away. So at the end of this, she probably lost a whole lot of people she'll never get back. So I guess the takeaway from this is if you're a woman who's thinking about doing this, please don't. And if you're a loved one who has a sister or a significant other or a daughter who suddenly gives birth and will not let you hold their child or even see or talk or communicate with the child for months on end, something might be wrong. Not like my little spiel there is going to be an aha moment for someone, like the Lil Yachty meme looking into the laptop. Like, obviously, that's not going to happen, but I like yapping at the end. But other than that, if you're new here, feel free to subscribe, drop a like if you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one that's hopefully a little bit more lighthearted than this, because this is just cursed.